as it was in 1993. It happened in Clapham in South London, and it now offers one of the biggest rewards in British criminal history, £100,000.
Kwame was big from infancy. As an adult, Kwame was a gentle giant.
He was only on the beat for about 3 years. At 40 years old, Patrick decided not to be a school teacher, to join the Metropolitan Police Force, to go through the training, and I admired him greatly for that.
Hernias.
Right, okay. Name 2 different types.
Inguinal and abdominal.
Right.
Come on, give it to Righty now. Come on.
Yeah, what? I don't know. Yeah, it is him. He must have been here when I was out. Yes, I have called the police.
I was asked, could I go to a call in Cato Road. Meanwhile, Patrick was out and about in his bike that night and called up to say that he could actually go to that call for me because he was just round the corner.
Everywhere, the books and
The officer came in, it was about 9:05, and he started to take a statement.
Where's Kwame? Kwame? What? Kwame. Is he there? Where's Kwame?
It's next door.
What?
It's next door.
Shut up, man.
I've been away for 2 weeks.
You've been, so the flat had been empty.
Way we murdered there, Brian, and
The noise was something like bang, 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 bang.
750, shots fired, Cato.
Those 3 guys came out
Get back inside.
and they started shooting.
Come on. I seen that guy, right? Yeah, I love that. Come on.
As we pulled up, we came across what turned out to be a double murder, and I knew that there was going to be no hope for Patrick living at all. And that was probably within 10 seconds of being with him.
It's me, I told him where he lived. There was a knock on the window, wasn't there? When I come out the door, I told him he just lives down there.
My mum bought the newspaper on a Thursday morning, turned the page and found her son's photograph and a headline that he's been shot, and she collapsed.
Around 11:15 at night, a police officer knocked on the door and he asked if I had a brother, PC Patrick Dunne, and I said yes. And the moment he asked that question, I thought, my goodness, what's happened? It really hit home when we heard Patrick's name mentioned on the news.
PC Patrick Dunne had been called to a minor disturbance at a house in Clapham, in what police say was a tragic coincidence.
This was Patrick, this was my brother. He doesn't get into situations like this. Patrick always succeeded. And suddenly to know that we would never see him again, one can't describe what that does to you inside.
The other man was found dead nearby. He too had been shot in what may have been a drugs-related killing.
The media coverage of the whole incident was very negative, and I just shut myself out. I didn't want to talk to anybody.
In fact, the reason for Kwame's death is still a mystery. So far as is known, he was never involved in crime or serious drugs. But somebody knows something. 8 months after the murder, somebody rang Crime Stoppers. The message was, if you want to find the killers, you should go to Wandsworth Cemetery and search. When police arrived, lipstick marked the spot. Two guns were wrapped in a plastic carrier bag. They were forensically linked with Pat and Kwame's deaths and other shootings too. Now, 8 years on, the investigation has been renewed and has a new lease of life.
I don't know if relief is the word. We couldn't come to terms with even asking ourselves the questions because there were no answers to them. And, I mean, until my mom died, I found out that she's been carrying Kwame's photographs in a handbag throughout the period.
The pain is still there 8 years later, because we know Patrick should have been around. He should be here.
Somebody knows who killed William Kwame Danso. Perhaps several people know. And someone knows who killed Patrick Dunne. If they help prove it, they'll get £100,000. Gary, 8 years on, who is it you particularly want to hear from now?
We're looking for two types of people: witnesses that were witnesses at the time that didn't come forward for various reasons, and that people that have become witnesses since the actual murder. Specifically people that have had the crime relayed to them by the suspects. Clearly the people responsible, they wouldn't have gone away and kept quiet about this. You've seen them on the video putting the guns in the air, laughing and shouting. They were pleased with what they did. They would have bragged to people. Those people are now witnesses to the murder, and we want those people to come forward and collect the £100,000 reward.
Now, both people in the street at the time who didn't come forward and people who heard about this subsequently are very likely going to be frightened. I mean, physically frightened of what might happen.
We understand that they'd be frightened of these people, and they have reason to do that. However, we will offer them every bit of available protection, and we will ensure that they are protected if they come forward and give the evidence to us.
Now, I want to just delve into that if I can. I mean, this is serious stuff. Somebody may very well want to claim the £100,000, but you're going to need them to give evidence. It's no good them just saying, well, here's a name, because you've got a long list of names I know. You need somebody who's actually going to appear. Now, they're going to be, as I say, very frightened. What level of protection can you give them?
We'll do absolutely anything that's required to protect them, and that can be from one end of the scale, just moving them out of the house that they live in, to the other end of the scale, moving houses, moving town, moving out of the country, changing names, moving the children away from the area. Anything that's required, we will do.
You can guarantee that?
Absolutely guarantee it.
Are you any closer to knowing what the original motive for this was? You've pretty much discounted drugs or crime.
It was said at the original media appeal that he was involved in drugs. He did smoke cannabis, and we think he supplied cannabis to friends and associates.
But this is small-time stuff like many other people.
Clearly wouldn't have been the motive for his murder, and we still don't know why he was murdered, but we're satisfied it wasn't because of his involvement in drugs.
So, again, people who know why Kwame was singled out, I mean, that's important to hear from them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, he was singled out, as it shows from the video, and those people, we want them to come forward and explain why he was picked out.
OK. Well, this is not one for anonymous calls, please. Unless you've got some decisive evidence, that is, that stands on its own, we need to hear from you with your name, particularly if you want to claim that reward. 0500 600 600, or you can call the Murder Inquiry Room on 020 8247 8275. It's just one good call that we need to make a difference.